What could you do to protect your pets if you're sick or injured? My product, Save My Pet ID tag, helps you ensure that your beloved pets are safe and well cared for, even when life isn't what you expect.
He is one of country music's finest. And he just unleashed a new song. It is called Road Dog. Please join me in welcoming the very multi-talented Skip Ewing. Welcome, Skip.
Thank you, Arden. I'm delighted. I love your show, so I'm happy to talk to you.
It is 3 minutes and 38 seconds of joy.
It was a sort of put it together accidentally. Linda and I live in northwestern Wyoming. It's beautiful, wide open country. And I opened the truck door. And out there, I mean, everybody has a white truck and you can't tell it because there's too much mud on it, you know? Yes. And when I did, I looked in my truck and I realized that, well, first of all, in our house, pet hair is a condiment and a fashion statement. We have a huge white dog named Shotgun for the seat he likes to ride in, and another dog named Holly. We got this Christmas before last. And anyway, I looked at my truck and I'm like, there's hair everywhere. And there's like, I can barely see out of the windows because noses have been up against it. And and I suddenly realized that I love this. I mean, not that I have to have a dirty truck, but it's just part of what
It's been dog-ized.
Exactly. But for me, there's a joy in it. I get to take my 115-pound dog in the truck with me. And at any rate, I was driving home after I looked at that truck and I started messing around with this song idea. We were coming up for this Road to California album. And I said, Linda, am I crazy, or are there a zillion other people like us who are dog crazy? And she said, oh, no. And so I played it for her. She made me play it 3 times in a row. And so we put it out to our whole fan base. And I said, send me pictures of your dogs. Like, especially if you're traveling with them. And I mean, we got dogs on boats, we got dogs on planes, we got dogs in cars, we got dogs in trucks, we got dogs on flatbeds in 4-wheel. And Linda is a wonderful videographer. And so she took the song.
Oh, I didn't know she did this. Good.
She took the song to make that video. And there are, I think, very close to 150 different dogs that were all sent to us by fans.
And that is nice.
It was delightful because all of them were precious. I mean, we loved that we used absolutely as many as we possibly could, but that's how the video came about.
It's a brilliant video, and I'm no singer, dude, but I love some of the lines. I'm mud on backseat, hair on your good clothes. Love me a drive through. Come on, you're channeling the voices of dogs when you say you never have to finish the sentence. Hey, Shotgun, do you wanna? There we go.
That's it. That is it. Yeah, then I get 2 dogs at the same time. It doesn't matter. Do you wanna? And they're both there. So.
Oh my gosh. I hope we're going to see this win mega awards because it's so relatable. It's got high energy. It's amazing. And you tapped into something many millions of people have. Dogs who need to ride with them in the cars, right? And trucks.
Well, I think that for many, certainly I would bet the people who are listening to your podcast and to us talk this morning, our dogs are part of our family. I mean,
Absolutely.
we have 2-leggers and 4-leggers. So we don't have the horses in the house, but they're certainly part of the family. They're always in our consciousness. And when we don't have to, we don't leave them alone. We'll get both dogs in the back of that in the back of that truck sometimes. And like I said, Shotgun loves to ride in the passenger seat. He's so big he can barely do it. And we live way off the road. I mean, we live on a gravel dirt road,
right?
Driveways on.
You're not going to give your address to our millions of listeners?
Our address is northwestern Wyoming heaven is where that is. Okay. But so on the dirt roads and on our private drives and stuff, he'll get up in the 4 drive with me and just go off and look and love. And it's just something that nourishes my spirit. I can tell you that it is nourishing. That's the best way I can. And there's a reciprocity with our animals anyway. They're just integral. So yeah, going on the road with us, being in the truck with us, doing everything with us.
It's about dang time that you got Road Dog as a song. It's been in your fiber.
I guess it has. I guess I'll have to agree with you.
Well, what I want to talk to you about too is talk about this tour coming up, Road to California. What is that all about?
Well, we just put out an album. I shouldn't say just. We put it out a while ago and started releasing songs from the newest album called Road to California. And my road has been quite interesting, Arden. I would have to say, I think it was unusual. So I'll be quick to tell you. I don't know how soon you have to go. I wrote songs in Nashville for close to 20 years, maybe a little longer than that. And I was, a huge list of super successful artists, big artists that cut songs, but many number ones. And I loved it.
Wait a minute. I think I'm an ex-sports writer. Mm-hmm. I think my stats, so you have 11 number one country hits that you have written.
Yeah, 11 number ones and 20 something top 20s. And yeah, it's really, I'm very fortunate. I worked hard, but I'm fortunate. And it got to a place though where I couldn't make the music I wanted to make because I really wanted to be an artist. And I was a bit artistically unfulfilled because I like to write certain songs that connect in ways.
Like Road Dogs.
Exactly, like Road Dogs. And so I had been going to Wyoming since 1999 or 2000. I took my daughter there when she was little bitty, and I fell in love with the country. And then I began falling in love with horses. My grandfather was a thoroughbred rancher, so I'd been around horses, but I hadn't gotten to ride. I knew some things about taking care of them, but not much. And I began going every year. The longer I did that, the more deeply I understood I didn't know anything about horses, and that even if I wasn't aware of it, they were actually teaching me things about myself. Well, this opened my eyes, and I went, wow, I've really got to open my eyes. The more I did that, finally I said, wait a second, I have so much to learn.
Yeah.
That if I don't make the step to do so as much as possible, I don't think I will mature as a person, grow to be the man I really want to be in my relationships, all relationships, four-leggers, two-leggers, and myself. I sold everything. I sold my house. I sold my furniture. I took my guitars and my art, and I put it in a storage unit, and for about 8 years, something like that. So it was 2012 that I was really out. I left, and I only worked with horsemanship. I worked on a lot of ranches. I worked with and for horse clinicians. I then began to help redesign riding programs for people and work with, hundreds of horses, rode thousands of miles, met the most amazing spirit, married her, and ultimately...
Not a horse.
That's Linda.
Okay. Shoo!
That's Linda. Although there are a lot of amazing spirits besides Linda. She is my amazing spirit. And we moved to Wyoming. And when we did, she began shooting a television show off the property we were on. And I picked up my guitar and went, I really feel like I have a lot of things to say. And I'd like to say them the way I would like to say them without the confines of other artists or radio or anything like that.
Good for you.
And Linda said, I think you need to put the journeys together. Well, that journey then led to making an album called Wyoming, which got us on national television shows. And then now we've made Road to California, and that seems to be blossoming for the first time since we started this. It looks like we have now radio promotion. So Road Dog will be out in the world and at radio, and we're about to cut some new music and do some more touring with my band Horsepower 307. And
we're gonna tease our loyal listeners by saying we're gonna dive into that in a second. So we're gonna take a quick break. So hold your horses. We'll be right back.
Hey, have you heard? Four-Legged Life has a new digital newsletter. Here, let me show you how you get yourself subscribed. So you just type in Four-Legged Life, and that'll take you to the website. There we go. And this magic thing just appears, and you type in your email address. I'll use, how about coolestdogever@gmail.com. That's me. And then you just click on this thing here. There you go. It's the new digital newsletter from Four-Legged Life. Get subscribed today.
I got to tell you, I got a great guy here as our guest. He is award-winning singer, musician, writer, horseman, dog lover, good family man. We're talking Skip Ewing of the country scene. And we got him on because we were intrigued by his song that's out called Road Dog. And we explained how his muses are four-leggers named Shotgun and Polly. But all his fans submitted photos of their dogs to be in the video, music video that you really got to watch. If you need me a pick-me-up, you don't need a cup of joe. You need to tune on and play Road Dog. Don't you think it's kind of like, yeah, you get done hearing it? What do you think? I feel like I'm bouncing.
Well, it's a Nashville Pick Fest is really what it is.
That's a good phrase.
It really is. I invited some of the best Nashville musicians that I know, truly the best. Some people like Janae Fleener and Ashby Frank and Seth Taylor and Josh Matheny. And these are all award-winning musicians who came in, and the record morphs from just a guitar and a little bluegrass groove all the way up to where Brent Mason is playing all this electric guitar. It's just fun. I mean, we just had a fun in the studio, and it translated, I think.
All right. So we've been teasing you all. We got to name drop more. Okay. So people need to know Randy Travis, what a institution, what a country singer icon. You wrote his song called
If I Didn't Have You. That's the number one I had with him. I had several other cuts with him. Yeah.
What was it like to work with him?
Well, when he cut the songs, the only time I ever worked with Randy in the studio is that particular song. His producer, Kyle Lenning, called me. Now, I've played guitar since I was 4 years old, and I have a bit of a different style than is typical. And
what does that mean? Wait a minute. Don't be teasing me and saying that.
Okay. Well, truth be told, when I was a kid, okay, the reason I say that, when I was a kid, I didn't have a lot of time to play. We had chores and things we had to do. So at night, I figured out a way to practice guitar without being heard. Those pink curlers, the women's curlers that are pink.
Well, wait a minute. My hair is so long. Okay, but yeah, I'll try to.
Okay. Well, I think they're ubiquitous in a way. Everybody's seen them somehow.
Yes.
Nobody wants to be caught wearing them. I took one of those pink curlers and I put it up underneath my strings on the guitar so it would mute all the strings. And
that's genius.
I would just play, and I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't get a lot of lessons. I had a few, but I didn't get a lot. And I made stuff up. And then as I made stuff up, I didn't know what I was doing. I just did whatever sounded good. And I used my right hand to make, percussive things against the strings. And I played with a thumb pick, not a flat pick. I did. And so I began making up stuff to go with it, which is how I kind of started writing songs. I just made everything up. And so at any rate, the song, If I Didn't Have You, has a classical guitar. I played a classical guitar as a certain way that's kind of funky. And Kyle heard that on a recording I had made that was just me and a guitar. And I don't even know where they got it, but he said, I'm in the studio. All I have is this little recording of you playing a classical guitar, and we want to cut this on Randy. So I went down to the studio and I played guitar on this record. And it was the first first record I've ever played. And Randy was, first of all, in the headphones. His voice is amazing. He just fills up the space. Yeah. He's really talented. But he was also, I wish I had more time to spend with him. He was genuine. He was just Randy, and Randy was kind. And I think big-hearted. I really appreciated, even though it was a small amount of time. Then later I actually was on some tours with him and I opened for him and played. He always treated me well. His whole crew did. But anyway, so if you go and listen to that record, though, it's on his greatest hits album, Randy's greatest hits album, called If I Didn't Have You. Interestingly, the whole first verse is just drums, Randy singing.
Oh.
And then I come in and play. It's the only record I've kind of heard where it's just drums for a whole verse, just him and drums. And then you'll hear my classical guitar come in, which is kind of an unusual instrument to put in a country record like that. And it worked.
Well, I want to ask you, one of my favorite country singers is Keith Urban. So you've worked with him too.
I have. Keith is another really good guitar player.
Oh, yeah.
He really is. I've been a fan of Keith's for a long time. We wrote a song together called I Thought You Knew. I got to write with Keith a couple of times, and what a talented guy. And he's had an interesting journey as well and done super.
What's it like? Because he's an Aussie and he's in Nashville and everybody is cool.
Well, I mean, I don't know that anybody thinks anything different if you're Aussie or you're wherever.
I think it's cool that Aussies like country. I like that.
Yeah, and there's a lot. There's a lot in Australia. There's a lot of appreciation for country. There are a lot of artists who are in Australia. In fact, in my opinion, one of the greatest guitar players in the world is from Australia. His name is Tommy Emmanuel. If you don't know, if you haven't ever heard of Tommy Emmanuel, just go check him out. Go and listen to even another incredible acoustic guitar player is Billy Strings. And you can even go and find, so if you take people like Billy Strings and Trey Hensley and Tommy Emmanuel and put them around, and I haven't gotten to work with Billy or Tommy. I know Trey pretty well. They're all kind of guitar heroes of mine. But Tommy's from Australia. Just a genius acoustic guitar player.
Well, we need to get back to you because you're a genius too, and you're a nice guy.
I'm one to celebrate. I like to celebrate the successes of others. It's just part of my life. I just do.
All right, your album that's just out is, and now help me. This is Road to California that Road Dogg is in, right?
Yes.
You also kind of flip it to the song "Not Afraid to Love."
Right. Yeah.
Want to tell us about that?
Well, Not Afraid to Love is the only song on the record that I didn't write by myself.
Okay.
And it is a song that I wrote with Wayne Kirkpatrick. You'll know Wayne Kirkpatrick because he wrote To Save the World for Eric Clapton.
Nice.
And he is a really talented writer. And we wrote a few songs, but that particular song Linda had heard. And she fell in love with it. And it's really about resiliency and the belief in your heart. And I think as humans, we are put together. We are supposed to love. And we get hurt loving, and that can make us hesitant, reticent to give of ourselves and trust in that. And yet somehow we try again. We will say, all right, I believe
you. If I may, I used to be a newspaper reporter, so I'm trying to make sure I quoted you right. I was doing my homework on you, Skip Ewing. You said that when you write a song, it's writing poetry. It's 3-dimensional, not 2-dimensional. It's like painting. Explain.
Well, my approach to writing, the really important element that I've grown, I think, into more and more as I went along, because it's what I believe. Even if I was told something else, it became, I don't know if I agree with that. This is what...
Kind of like the curlers under the strings of a guitar. Okay.
Right. What has resonance for me is where we are similarly human.
Okay.
And so I approach songs with trying to have more awareness of the listener than the writer. Writing it is part of it. It's the same thing with it's something that I learned more powerfully working with horses, because if I'm endeavoring to help a horse understand or to accomplish something together, but in doing so, I'm able to look more deeply at what characters are affected by, how they're really loving one another, what that feels, what the aloneness of something feels like, and what the shift is from the beginning of the song to the end of the song. And when I've tried to describe it, I'm like, basically, as a songwriter, I sit down to a blank canvas. And then if I have something that I want to write, to paint inside someone's imagination, I'm going to do it the same way as an artist. I've got to look deeply at what I'm writing about and then decide, am I going to just paint the one flower? Am I going to paint this vase, or am I going to paint the entire landscape? Which one is it? And importantly, I invite or try. I say space is love. Space is love. That's what I say. As not distance, but space.
Everyone, we're speaking with a country star, Skip Ewing, and I feel like I know you. You're a good guy, and you love dogs, and you got horses, and you've been through life. And I have a feeling that the songs are going to keep on coming.
Well, your mouth to the ear of the universe. Thank you.
So we know how horses have made an impact on your life. How have dogs made an impact on your life?
I don't remember a time I didn't have a dog. Well, no, I take that back. There is some time where I couldn't have a dog, but most of the time I just wanted a dog, and I loved being around dogs. when I was in Nashville, we finally, the dog that I had her for 17 years, and her name was Lovey, named by my daughter. We got her here at an adoption center, and it's been so long since we got it. I don't know that I don't even know if it's still together. We went into the store, to the place. It was really well done.
They bring shelter animals to places to help increase adoption. Yeah.
And because my daughter liked to go in there, and she saw this dog, and she goes, Dad, she needs to go home with us. And I said, honey, it's not best. We talked about it, and she got back in the car, and then she said, Lovey. I said, Lovey? Yeah. I said, how do you spell that? She said, L-U-V-I. I said, okay. I said, what is that? She said, that's the name of our dog.
Oh, sweet.
I said, oh my gosh. Okay. So the next day, she literally said, Dad, are we going to go pick up Lovey? And there was something about it that I went, if it really does last that long, and we go back, I said, she may not be there. We got Lovey, and she was part just of our lives, but then my life. She went everywhere. When I was traveling, when I would go to Wyoming, she would be in the car.
What kind of dog do you think she is?
She was an Aussie mix.
Oh my gosh. I got to tell you, this has been one of my favorite episodes ever, and I've been on the air a long time. We have had as our special guest award-winning country star Skip Ewing. You got to check out his new album, Road to California. It's got a song we all need to hear. Woo! It is called Road Dogs. So happy you've stopped by and chatted with us, Skip.
Arden, I am too. You have a great personality, and you're also providing a lot of information, and have for a long time.
Thanks so much for making our tails wag by watching this guest interview from Arden Moore's Four-Legged Life. Four-Legged Life. Make sure to subscribe so you're up to date with all of our Four-Legged Life content.